Hello, guys, welcome back to The Waitings World. I remain your host, Stephanie Markels, and today I've got two macho men with me. I tell you, these guys are intelligent and smart. Let's meet you. What's your name?
Destiny Bar.
Amazing. And you?
Kubizi Joshua.
All right, and they are from Mayfair Academy. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that has really struck me, and I'm sure has also struck the young people. Should parents choose career choices for their children? This topic is one that I bet you do not want to miss. And we're going to be starting with him. We're going to be starting with Joshua. So let's hear you talk, Joshua. What do you think about this?
Dear listeners, good day. My name is Akubuzi Joshua, an SS2 student of Mayfair Academy Secondary School. Here's an interesting question. Should parents decide on career choices for their children? I say yes. In other words, I propose the motion which says parents should decide on career choices for their children. First of all, what is career? A career is an occupation one engages in order to earn a living, and there is existence of opportunities of progress. It is also for a specific period of time. Who is a parent? A parent is the mother and father to a child. Who is a child? Scientifically, children are the result of the fusion of the male and female gametes, which are the egg and spermatozoa during fertilization. In simple terms, children are young human beings below the age of puberty and also below the legal age of majority. I strongly stand by the motion which says parents should decide on career choices for their children, and I defend my opinion with the following points. Number one, children are joy or passion driven. Here's the thing about passion. Passion is strong enthusiasm one has for something. It's the strong will, strong urge one has to accomplish something. Now the thing is that sometimes children forget that this world isn't a game in which you play for joy or for fun or because you want to. It is one in which you play to survive. It is a game in which you play to better your life, the life of your family, the life of your country, the life of the entire world at large. Sometimes children forget this. Passion, however, says otherwise. Passion says, do this, go for it because you love it, irrespective of it being good or bad. Here's an interesting story. A man named Alexander James, born in 1987 in England, loved bike racing. His parents were successful agriculturists and they wanted him to continue in the family business, agriculture. However, he decided to follow his so-called passion, bike racing. Of course, they refused to purchase a motorcycle for him, so at the age of 19, he had gathered enough income and then he bought a motorcycle for himself. At the age of 20, he went for his first competition in Bakewell, England, and he lost the competition due to losing his life. What a tragic story. Another man, Patrick Stone, was a well-known thief and he was known to have engaged in different money heists. And on the point of questioning, when he was asked why he stole, he said he stole because he loved it. In other words, it was his passion. Yes, it is true that these two stories were actually made up by me, but they are exact copies of what happens in the world today. Now let's consider a true life story. The man, Vincent van Gogh, he was an artist, a painter for that matter. He loved painting. In other words, it was his passion. In his entire life, he only sold one painting. He committed suicide at the age of 37 due to emotional trauma. Now, if we trace back from the beginning, it was his passion. He loves painting, he started painting, he didn't give up, and he committed suicide. Yes, it's true that after he died, people started appreciating his artworks. Today, he's known as one of the best artists in the entire world. But what's the use? He's dead. He died believing that he was a failure. He died believing that he was a nobody. Not mean now today is regarded as one of the best artists in the history of human existence. Now, parents do not have drawbacks or downsides such as passion. This enables them to have a clear mind to easily think with the knowledge about the world and about their children. I believe they can easily think and predict where their child fits in. This is the first point I use to support my motion that parents should decide on career choices for their children. Point number two, confusion. Sometimes children may be confused. They may not know which line of occupation they fit in. When this occurs, they tend to, okay, because my friend wants to be a doctor, let me follow him in his line of occupation, or because my best friend is a lawyer, let me follow her in her line of occupation. But they will also choose a career, any career out of random selection. These two situations can lead to life-threatening mistakes. However, parents with their idea about the world, their understanding about the children, they've been in this world sooner than their children. They enter this world earlier than their children. I think they have the qualification to choose their children's career for them. Point number three, and which is my last point, parents are wiser and more experienced than their children. Parents came into this world sooner than their children. They've lived in this world longer than their children. They know how the political sector, the economical sector of the world, they know how the world operates. And to top it all off, they understand their children. They know their children basically more than anybody in this world. They know their children's skills, their talents, what they can do and what they cannot do. with their knowledge of the world and their knowledge of the children, they have the highest qualification to decide on career choices for their children. Ladies and gentlemen, with these points of mine, I believe I've been able to convince you beyond reasonable doubts that parents should decide on career choices for their children. Thank you.
Wow, I feel like giving him a round of applause. Joshua, you were amazing.
Thank you.
But I don't think Destiny agrees to what you said. So let's hear you, Destiny. What do you think about what he said?
Hello viewers, my name is Oba Destiny and I'm a student of a reputable school in Omaya North local government area, Abia State, Nigeria, called Mayfair Academy. And I'm delighted and honored to stand before you today to oppose the motion that says, should parents decide on career choices for their children? With these following points. Decision making is a very important skill that young people need to develop to become healthy and mature adults. The main goal of a parent is to ensure that their child lives happy and comfortable. And to achieve this, there are some certain decisions that parents should not make for their children. Young people should be given the opportunity to choose and make decisions themselves, even if it means failure, because life also involves learning from our mistakes and try not to repeat them again. It is important for parents to strike a balance, encourage their children to aspire for what they want, and give them the right to choose from their own options. This will make children get satisfactory results. Here are my points I defend my stand with. 1. Interest. Interest is the engine of all achievement. Interest development makes one take what he does serious, no matter the challenges. If a parent decides on the career of their children, the child will have a boring academic life as he or she will face lack of interest. A certain man forced his son to become a medical doctor, but this ended up in disappointment because after so many years of wasted effort and money, the young man dropped out for inability and lack of interest to continue. Every child knows his or her abilities and interests better than anyone else. They know their subjects and areas of interest and can thus decide their career path. Secondly, many individuals do not want to miss it in life. When wrong career choices are made, the money and time spent in training that child goes into waste. In the above mentioned story of the young man who was forced by his father to study medicine, if the father had allowed him to choose a career that matches his abilities and interests, such disappointment and wastage of time and effort would be avoided. I once watched a Nollywood movie where a young man who desired to study law was forced by his parents to manage his father's business. Although he obeyed, the business went bankrupt after 2 years of him managing the business. Why? Because he did not have the adequate skill of knowledge of what he was doing and he did not enjoy what he was doing. So parents deciding the career path of their children could result to frustration, disappointment, and wastage of time and effort. Thirdly, exposure. Choosing a career is a very important but difficult decision. Making the right career choices involves a lot of thinking as one has to analyze the various fields of study and explore his skills and abilities. A situation whereby the needs and wants of a child are constantly and often decided by the parents. Peradventure, the parent dies. How will the child live, face, and cope with the issues of life, which is all about personal decisions and wise choices? So parents, instead of trying to decide on a career for your child, why not resort to grooming that child to choose a better career that will determine his better tomorrow? Lastly, conflict between parents and children. Parent-child relationship is a very important relationship. It's the first relationship in a child's life. But this relationship can be marred when parents decide on career choices for their children. There's this misconception by parents that a good career lies within the legal, medical, and engineering field. This makes parents impose these careers on their children, not considering their interests. The child may obey, but in the long run, drop out or end up living a life which does not interest him. This causes a bridge or a gap between the parents and children, as the child blames the parents for not giving him the opportunity to choose a career that he loves. When a child is pleased with his career or job, the child will be happier and fulfilled. The parents can only have a say in the decision-making process of their children's career and not their way. My dear esteemed viewers, please allow me bring to your notice that a recognized career is not equal to a happy career, and a well-respectable career is not equal to a happy career. But what your child chose to pursue is the key to a long-lasting, exciting job. With the aforementioned points of mine, I know I've been able to make you see reasons why the burden of deciding a career must rest hugely on the child. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. This is beautiful. I know you cannot wait to comment. You are dying and itching to air out your views. Well, you can do that. So like, comment, share, tell us what you think about this topic. This topic is one that you need to talk about. Okay? I remain your host, Stephanie Michaels. This is The Waitings World.